Hello and welcome back to the Footballing Question YouTube channel. Today you're joined by me, you're joined by Jordan. The boys have uploaded plenty of videos in recent weeks on literally everything that's been going on. They've been sort of carrying me on this channel, but it's time to change that. We're mixing it up and I'm getting involved now, and I'm here. I've got plenty of videos on the way, hopefully, so get used to seeing me, hearing my voice. Speaking of seeing me, this is obviously a slightly different video. You can't see me. I'm having a few issues with my camera at the minute, which hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll be able to fix very, very soon. But in the meantime, I'm just going to talk, go through my thoughts, feelings, opinions, stuff like that, and we're just going to have some FIFA gameplay in the background. Let me know what you think of the videos, or this video idea, or style of video idea, and maybe we can keep it up in future videos, who knows. For the time being though, let's just do it. You've seen the thumbnail, you've read the title. I'm going to be talking about Mason Mount's potential deal to Manchester United in this video. Now, this is probably one of the only deals that Manchester United have been linked with this summer, so far anyway, that I've been near enough 100% confident will eventually happen, believe it or not. You know, there's some other names being thrown out there, but Mason Mount is the only one that I'm 100% solid with. 100% I know we eventually will sign Mason Mount, surely. You can expect another video when he is officially announced, probably, but until then, let's talk about the deal, let's talk about what we know so far, what I think of the deal, and yeah, let's just talk about Mason Mount to Manchester United. Now, it seems as though United's #1 target this summer has been Mason Mount, which came as a bit of a surprise. If you tell me that a couple of months ago, you know, during the season, as the season was going on, I'm calling you a liar. I'm telling you you're wrong. I'm telling you that Mason Mount would be an awful signing for Manchester United, but here we are. This is what the transfer window is all about, I guess, and yeah, Mason Mount is looking as though he's going to become a Manchester United player very, very soon. And United have, of course, put in a few bids for Mason Mount now. I think it's 1 or 2 bids that Manchester United have put in, which have both been rejected by Chelsea. I think the most recent bid was something like £50 million for Mason Mount, but, you know, Chelsea have sort of held this strong stance on the deal. They want 85 million. Will they get 85 million? You know what Manchester United are like with paying high fees, but I don't think they're going to get 85 million, and I'll explain that in just a little bit. You know, Chelsea are staying strong, but Manchester United right now are seeming as though they are going to stay strong with this, and they're saying they won't be spending that much on him. But like I said, we all know what Manchester United are like when it comes to spending money, in recent years especially. I think the most recent bid that Manchester United put in was 45 million plus 5 million in add-ons, which is probably a little bit low for Mason Mount, considering what Chelsea want especially. But I'm sure that, you know, the bids are just going to go up and up from here, and I expect a deal to be reached in the very near future. It's obvious that Mount wants to join Manchester United. You know, personal terms were agreed a while ago. It feels like absolutely ages ago, I can't lie. It feels like forever since this whole personal terms agreed thing came out. And, you know, Manchester United want Mount. Mount wants Manchester United at this point, and Chelsea are the only thing standing in the way of this deal actually taking place. And like I said before, I would expect another bid to be in very, very soon, and I expect that this deal will be completed imminently. It's just what Chelsea are willing to accept more than anything else at this point. Although it might seem likely that United will pay a high amount for Mount. that makes sense. I can't imagine it'll be that £85 million asking price. Mount just isn't worth that. You know, he's a good player, but he's not £85 million worth of player. And I think with the situation at Chelsea, with them needing to offload players, obviously they've offloaded a lot of players. We talked about the Saudi Arabia stuff in the podcast. Isaac did a video on Kovacic to City recently where he talked a lot about Chelsea. You know, they're trying to avoid a potentially catastrophic transfer window situation right now. That was a lot to get out. You know, this FFP stuff going around with Chelsea, they're going to want to avoid that, so selling players is something that they need to do. I expect them to accept a deal less than the 85 million asking price, but I still think that Manchester United will probably end up getting a deal that's pretty close to 85 million. They won't pay that, but they'll get that sort of range, if you know what I mean. If I had to guess, I would say the end deal will be something like 65 million pounds, maybe even more with add-ons, which for Mount, interesting. I think 65 including add-ons is about right. But the question on everyone's minds really is, where does Mount fit in to this Manchester United team? You know, Mount has a lot of strengths, and one of which is his versatility, and that's incredibly important not only to Manchester United but into the way that Erik ten Hag wants to play football on the pitch. Mason Mount being able to play in a lot of positions is massive. You know, he can play in a more attacking midfield role. He can play in sort of the Eriksen number 8 role. In the centre of midfield, it may not be his strongest position, but he can play on the wing as well. He can provide a little bit of depth if we're in desperate need, which, considering the amount of depth we do have on the wings, although it may not be incredibly strong, we have a lot of wingers. We have too many wingers, to be perfectly honest. So I can't imagine he will go on the wing, but you know, it's good to have a player that is good on the wing as well. And you know, this is a lot of versatility for Mount, and Mount being able to play in a lot of positions is very, very good. Very, very key to the way Erik ten Hag wants Manchester United to be. I expect when he comes in, emphasis on the word when he comes in, that Mount will probably play in that Eriksen role, replacing Eriksen, the Eriksen replacement. It suits Mount. You know, Ten Hag has shown that he likes his players that play in that number 8 role to be somewhat attack minded. With Casemiro behind him, he can sort of be safe to go forward a little bit more, I would say. So I feel like Mount will be very key in our attacking options, in our attacking threat next season, and will be quite a key part of the midfield 3 next season as well. But also, I think it's important that his ability going forward also provides a little bit of competition for Bruno Fernandes, which is very much needed. He's not really had much, if any, competition since he joined the club. Bruno Fernandes is world class. He's fantastic. I love watching him play. I would love for him to be able to play week in, week out, but he needs that little push, I would say, that sort of threat of someone else potentially coming in to really take him to another level. And I think Mason Mount can also provide that for Manchester United. And whereas I don't see Mason Mount taking the role of Bruno Fernandes, it'll be good to have a bit of competition for him with another player that can provide that sort of attacking midfield, that attacking outlet role in the squad. Very good signs. As a Manchester United fan, what do I think of the deal? Like I said before, earlier in the video, I think if you asked me this a few months ago, you know, as the season's wrapping up, I probably would have been shocked, not wanted the deal to take place, you know. But I have definitely had a change of heart on the deal, having thought about what Mason Mount can provide to this Manchester United squad moving forward. Mason Mount is a very, very talented player, whether you like him or not. You have to admit he is a good player. And yes, this season just gone, you know, it may say otherwise, you know, it may give a few doubts in people's minds as to whether Mason Mount is actually as good as maybe he looked in previous seasons. But Mount has never been a player that I've looked at and thought, you are god awful, if that makes sense. There's definitely a player in there, you know, he's won the Champions League, for example, and I would argue he played quite a key role in that Champions League squad. You know, he's a fantastic player. So, you know, to have that sort of player in this Manchester United squad, it's going to be massive next season. And Ten Hag clearly wants the deal to happen. He clearly wants Mason Mount in this squad. And to be honest, whatever Erik Ten Hag wants and thinks is necessary to sort of improve this squad going forward, I'm going to agree with him 100%. If you give Ten Hag exactly what he wants to work with at Manchester United, we can have another very successful season in this upcoming year. And, you know, he's got a plan, and Mason Mount is in that plan. So let's do it. Let's bring him in. Let's get him into the squad playing good football. Mount is hardly an awful signing to make, you know. Arsenal wanted him at one point, remember. Arsenal did want him at one point. He chose Manchester United, and that's probably why Arsenal backed away a little bit. But, you know, Arteta proved that he is a decent manager despite what I've been saying over the years with TFQ. But he's proved he's a decent manager. He proves he knows what he wants. And he wanted Mason Mount at one point. And obviously that hasn't worked out for Arsenal. But Ten Hag wants him as well. Let's bring him in. Let's have a very good season. Mason Mount is a fantastic signing, in my opinion. I like it. And, you know, I'm definitely going to welcome Mason Mount with open arms. I'm ready for him to come in, and I'm ready for him to play for Manchester United. I like the deal, but what do you think? Let me know in the comment section down below what you think of the Mason Mount deal. Will Mount sign for Manchester United? Will Mount be successful at United if he does sign, when he does sign? Let me know in the comment section down below. Remember to like this video, subscribe for more content just like this. We've got a lot of stuff coming out during the transfer window especially, so look out for that. Turn the bell notifications on and all that lovely stuff, and I will see you very, very soon in a bit.